welcome to Clean Coder YouTube channel. If you are new to this channel, I'll highly recommend you to subscribe to my channel as I make content related to software engineering, system design, and data structures and algorithms. Okay, so the third part is abstraction. Okay, the third part is abstraction. So what does abstraction means? So this is the definition. So abstraction is a process of hiding the implementation details and showing only functionality to the user. Okay. So a common example of abstraction is the pressing the accelerator, and that will increase the speed of the car, right? But the driver doesn't know how the pressing the accelerator increases the speed, right? They don't know how this is achieved, right? Technically, abstract means something incomplete or which is meant to be completed later. So in Java, we can achieve abstraction in two ways. Okay, the first way is to use abstract class. Okay, so here the abstraction which you can achieve can lie anywhere between 0 to 100, and then there is interface, right, which is completely abstract, and here the level of abstraction is 100%. Okay, so the keyword abstract can be applied to classes and methods, and abstract and final or static can never be together. Okay, so these things you need to take care about. Now let's move to the next topic. Okay, so the next topic is abstract class. Okay, abstract class. What is an abstract class? So an abstract class is the one that contains the keyword abstract. Okay, abstract classes can't be instantiated. Okay, and can't create objects of abstract classes, although they can have constructors, static methods, and final methods. Okay, and what are abstract methods? So an abstract method is the one that contains the keyword abstract. So an abstract method doesn't have implementation, no method body, and ends up with a semicolon. Okay, and it should be marked as private. It shouldn't be marked as private. Okay, so abstract methods can't be private. Remember this always. Okay, so the third part is abstract class and abstract methods. So if at least one abstract method exists inside a class, then the whole class should be abstract. This is the rule. And we can have an abstract class with no abstract methods. Okay, this is also possible. And we can have any number of abstract as well as non-abstract method inside an abstract class at the same time. Okay, the first concrete subclass of an abstract class must provide implementation to all abstract methods. Okay, so the class which is non-abstract, which is extending an abstract class, must provide implementation to all abstract methods. Otherwise, it need to declare itself as abstract as well. Okay, so this is what is the meaning of abstract keyword. So let's move forward now. Okay, so if this doesn't happen, then the subclasses also should be marked as abstract. This we already discussed. Okay, in real world scenario, implementation will be provided by someone who is unknown to end users, right? Users don't know the implementation class and actual implementation. True. Let's consider an example of abstract concept usage. Okay, here shape has a method draw, which is abstract. Okay, and circle extends shape, and circle is providing the implementation how to draw. Okay, it is simple one, just printing circle to the console. Okay, but this is an example of abstraction. So let's move forward now. Okay, So he has tried to explain with some diagrams which we are going to skip, and we are going to study this part. Okay, when do we want to mark a class as abstract? So to force subclasses to implement abstract methods. Okay, when we want to force subclasses, okay, then we are going to mark a class as abstract. Okay, to stop having actual objects of that class. Yeah, this is also a good hack to stop creating the objects of a class, because like abstract class objects can't be created, right? So this is also a good hack. And third point is to keep having a class reference. Okay, if you want class reference, then maybe mark a class as abstract. And fourth part is to retain common class code. Okay, these are the four reasons why you can mark a class as abstract. Okay, so now let's move towards interface. So let's study interface in depth now. So an interface is a blueprint of a class, right? An interface is 100% abstract. No constructors are allowed here. It represents a relationship. Okay, let's read the note. So interface only defines required methods. We cannot retain common code. Okay, we can't write code. Like there are default methods which are introduced in, I think, newer versions of Java. Like the interfaces could have default methods which can have implementation, but he's trying to say, I think, before the latest version. So their interfaces methods can't retain any common code. He's trying to refer that here. Okay, an interface can only have abstract methods, not concrete methods. By default, interface methods are public and abstract. Okay, so even if you don't write these two keywords, they are already there. Okay, implicitly. So inside the interface, we don't need to specify public and abstract. Okay, so when a class implements an interface method without specifying the access level of the method, the compiler will throw an error stating cannot reduce the visibility of the inherited method from interface. Yeah, this is commonly used, and he has given the reason beautifully as well. So that implemented method access level must be set to public. If you are not setting that to public, you are going to see this error message, which you should be careful. Okay, so by default, instance variables are public, static, and final. Okay, by default, instance variables are public, static, and final. Okay, he is giving us an example of runnable. So we have a runnable and we have an instance variable a as 10, and then we have a run method, and we are having a interface checker class which implements runnable. Okay, and in the main method, this will not be assigned. This will not be assigned. Okay, this runnable.a won't be assigned here. Okay, the reason is their instance variables are public, static, and final. So here he has provided a value once. So final ensures that second time he's trying to assign a value, this may throw an error or exception, I think. So maybe he has explained that below. Okay, so he has not provided the output, but I think this he has written here that it will throw some exception or error, and like it can't be assigned. Okay, so let's see an example that covers the interface concept. So here he has given an interface drawable. Okay, this has a method draw, and we have a concrete class circle is implementing this drawable. and by implementing, we are providing an implementation to draw. Okay, so in main method, he has used the interface to create a reference and this concrete class to create an object. Okay, then he's calling the draw method. So this will work fine, right? No problems with that. Okay, so next topic which he has tried to cover is default and static methods in interfaces. Okay, so what he has written is, usually we implement interface methods in a separate class. Let's say we are required to add a new method in an interface, right? So then we must implement that method in that separate class too. Okay, so to overcome this issue, Java had introduced default and static methods that implement methods inside an interface, unlike abstract methods. Okay, so now interfaces can have implementation of methods as well, and that are called default methods. Okay, so here there is, in this interface, default interface, we have two methods. One is sleep and second one is run. Okay, so run has some implementation in it and we need to use a default keyword before that. Similarly, we are like implementing this interface in interface checkers and we are providing an implementation of sleep, and we have the option to either override this default or like we can completely skip this and it will use the default implement which it has already used. Like I'm running is the default implementation which it has used. Okay, so let's move to the static method now. So similar to static method of class, you can call them by their interface name. Okay, so static methods. Okay, so yeah, we know that static things belongs to class and class things like can be called via class names, right? So this is what he has done here. Okay, so he has used the name of the interface to directly call the run method. This is also legal and this can be done. Okay, then there are like marker interfaces as well. Okay, so this what is a marker interface? Like this is a good interview question and this is sometimes asked, right? So he has provided information here. So it's an empty interface. For instance, we have interfaces like serializable. Okay, this is related to persisting, like writing something, right? Serializing objects. So serializable is a marker interface. Even clonable is a marker interface. And remote interfaces, these are all marker interfaces. They don't contain anything, they are empty. So with this, we have reached to the advantages of interfaces. So let's try to go through the advantages one by one. Okay, so they help us use multiple inheritance in Java. First advantage is this. Okay, then the second advantage is they provide abstraction. Third advantage is they provide loose coupling. Okay, objects are independent from one another. So these are the three main advantages of interfaces. So when do we want to change a class to an interface? 4 subclasses to implement abstract methods, right? To stop having actual objects of that class, right? To keep having a class reference. Yeah, and he has added a note here, which means remember, we can't retain common code inside the interface. Again, he is telling this before the default methods era, but now we can retain the common code in default methods as well. Okay, so the next part is, if you want to define potentially required methods and a common code, use an abstract class. Okay, you just want to define a required method, use an interface. So with this, we have completed this interfaces part as well. Okay, so abstraction part is complete till here. Hey guys, do check out this Instagram channel, the Encoder Community, for all the jokes and memes related to software engineering. Thanks a lot.